Who I believe to be the true birthers of choosing beggars, it's entitled parents.
Our first one is from Pyro Nova. I, 33 female, just married my husband, 33 male, this past Saturday. I planned our wedding over the past 13 months. I did hire a day of event coordinator, but I did the majority of the work. I wanted simple elegance, and I found a church and a reception hall that didn't need a lot of decor added. My husband and I also decided to keep our wedding fairly small, around 100 people or so. I should mention my parents gave me a decent lump sum of cash, not overly crazy or small, to spend on my wedding as I see fit, but anything outside that cost I needed to pay for with my husband. The money essentially covered the reception costs, besides decor and entertainment and cake. From the beginning, my mother wanted to invite a ton of her friends. I told her that simply wasn't possible due to the size of the venue we booked, but it never stopped her from asking every couple of weeks to see if we could add more people. Friends she insisted had prayed so hard for me to find someone to marry. I only conceded for a few couples I've actually known since I was a teenager or younger. One couple I actually speak to on a semi-regular basis. The real trouble started when I informed my mother that the tables the venue provided only seated 8. She wanted all her friends sitting at the same table. She insisted for her, my father, my sister, her brother-in-law, my grandparents, and 3 of their couple friends all needed to sit together, claiming she didn't want anyone feeling snubbed about not being at the right table. I warned her months ago, when I took her on a tour of my reception venue, that this was not possible. And she started getting frustrated and asking for larger tables or different tables to try to fit a large amount of people at one table. The venue could not do larger tables. At the time, I hadn't even sent out invitations, and I kept telling her that it wasn't the place or time to freak out about seating arrangements. During this same tour, she started inquiring about all these extra decor items that she wanted to add that we didn't really want or need for our day. The venue had this beautiful bricked patio with trees and lights and a fire pit. It was just extra work I knew that was going to be reliant and me and my coordinator to follow through on, since my mom often suffers from headaches, etc., and I knew she was going to be busy with her sister and brother-in-law and any other family members. When I expressed my concerns and mentioned that invitations were not sent and that I didn't want all the extra decor, I received a very stern and angry remark.
"This isn't just about you, OP. This is a reflection on me and your father."
Over the next several months, my mother insisted on several unnecessary do-it-yourself decor for the outdoors. My husband and I purchased a cutting cake and cupcake package and planned for one of the cupcake flavors to match our cutting cake, and my mother insisted on wanting to get a slice of cake even though I expressed my dislike of the idea. And both of my parents insisted on all their friends at their table, and I told them I would do my best to sit everyone they wanted to talk to close to their table. However, that wasn't good enough, and I had to just make it happen. I didn't make it happen. I sat people close together and informed them as such. Wedding week arrived, and of course, I ended up having to fix up the extra decor last minute. In addition day, or my wedding, I found out at dinner my parents moved their friends to their table despite sitting literally right next to them at an adjacent table. And today, my husband and I discovered a quarter of our cutting cake gone. We only took one slice to share between us at the reception. I'll never understand why parents try to make their children's wedding their own and basically try to call all the shots. I mean, at the end of the day, I could understand if they were literally footing the bill for the entire thing, but in this case, that's not the case, so I just don't understand the entitlement. This next one is by Autodidact9. I've been working every single day for a month without a day off because I wanted to go on a vacation with my friends after graduation. I worked so hard for this. I was saving them in my drawer, and there's a lock on it, so whenever I go, I take the key with me. So today my stupid ass forgot the key on the dining table. I went to the bathroom to shower. Nobody was home except my mother and me. My siblings were all at school having an exam. So when I finished showering, I saw the keys on my room. I didn't care. I thought maybe I moved it before I went to the bathroom. Then I prepared my desk to study. When I finished studying, I thought maybe I could go hang out with my friends. So I opened my drawer and the money was gone. All of it. Nothing left. So obviously, nobody's home except me and my mom. I confronted her as calm as I could and I said, "Did you open my drawer?" I swear I noticed her hands were shaking and she said,
No, I didn't. Why?
I said, "Well, my money's gone." She said,
I didn't take anything. Someone's stealing my money as well. Or maybe you dropped it somewhere like you always do, you careless donkey.
I said, "Well, if someone's stealing your money, why would you take mine?" She said,
You don't dare to talk to me like that. I'm your mother. Close the door and get out of my sight before I pray that you'll fail the exams. What are you going to do with the money anyway? You're still too young. Money come and go.
I didn't know what to say, and I went back to my room and texted my dad and told him what happened, and he still didn't respond to me. My final exams are in 2 weeks, and I can't work anymore, and me and my friends, planning on that last day of the exam, we'll head straight to Sharm el-Sheikh. Probably mispronounced the fuck out of that. This is the first time in my entire life that I feel so helpless and betrayed like that. After graduation, I'll move out of my parents' home, even if I become homeless. I don't care anymore. I'm sorry if I make grammatical mistakes. English isn't my native language. The fact that she can just go in and take your money like that, and then act like, oh, because somebody's taking from her, it justifies her taking from her child, like, that's ridiculous. Especially if you've been working hard for that money, that's your money. She owes you that money. It wasn't her money to take. Entitled parents are the absolute worst. And our final one is from Massive Dirt 6745. For context, I don't have a good relationship with my mother to begin with. Once I turned 18, she became extremely verbally and mentally abusive when she couldn't have her way. I started having thoughts and feelings of my own. I'm 26 and I've gone no contact with her twice in the span of 2 years, and she should be grateful for the fact that I even gave her a third chance. Recently, I started a new job and fully recovered from an injury. I'm an MMA fighter, so now it's back to working full-time and back to training. On top of that, my wife is finishing up her master's program and she also works full-time. My mother is upset because my wife and I don't want to come over every single weekend. Weekends are our time to decompress. Some weekends I want to visit my dad and stepmom. Some weekends we want to spend with our friends. Some weekends we want to spend with her parents. Some weekends we just want to do absolutely nothing. In addition to that, my mother is complaining because we haven't had a phone call in 3 weeks. I still text her every day. Some days, I have to force myself to reply. There are days where I'll wake up to paragraph-long texts from her filled with Bible verses on how God wants me to come back to Him and that I need to go to church again. You can see why I don't have a great relationship with my mom. And I'll just thumbs up the text because how the fuck do I respond to that? I explained to her that I'm busy and I haven't even had time to hang out with my friends recently. She told me that she takes priority over my friends because we're bound by flesh and blood. Like, what the fuck? She also calls me at the worst fucking times. I was on a call pitching to a client and she called me. When I didn't pick up, she called 3 more times. It was literally in the middle of the day. Get a fucking hobby much? Why does she feel so entitled to my time? I'm 26 years old, and I understand that spending time with family is important, but it's also my time, and I'm free to choose who I want to spend it on. To be so entitled that you literally think somebody else's time belongs to you, and then trying to say because you're bound by blood, because your family, like, wow, that's just taking entitlement to a whole new level. The only person who is entitled to time is the person who the time belongs to, not anybody feeling entitled to it. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.